Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto, and today guys we're taking a cheeky look at VeChain and specifically all-time highs and what is next. So Chris, we're going to be taking a look at VeChain. We're going to dive into the charts. We're going to be talking a little bit about what might be next for VeChain after setting some new all-time highs. So if you guys do find this video useful and informative, hit that like button. We both really do appreciate it. And of course, if you're new to the channel and you're not yet subscribed, and yeah, do go ahead and subscribe. By doing so, you're going to be kept up to date with all of the videos and live streams that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. And Chris, is there anything else you would like to add before we jump on over to the charts and take a look at exactly what's going on here with VeChain? Obviously, VET is your biggest bag, so you probably have something to say.
I always have something to say when it comes to VeChain, Nick. You know me. One thing that I would like to know, though, let us know in the comments below. I want to know just, if you could pick one thing that you love about VeChain, let me know what it is. I'm really interested. There's many things that I love about VeChain. I love the use case, and particularly the safety aspect when you consider, the fraud that happens with, particularly like alcohol, but there are other foods as well, because it does a lot of harm. So for me, that's one of the best things that I like about VeChain is the good that it's going to be sort of doing, and that safety aspect. But let me know what you really like about VeChain. What is the one thing that stands out the most for you? And Nick, what is the one thing for you, to be fair? What is the one thing that stands out for you?
Yeah, definitely the counterfeiting and the supply chain elements are absolutely phenomenal. So I have a bit of a retail background, so supply chain and counterfeiting and all of that kind of stuff when it comes to retail goods is actually a really, really good use case. It's something that plagues the industry, and being able to track exactly where everything has been and whether something's been contaminated and all that kind of good stuff is absolutely crucial. So supply chain by far is going to be one of the biggest use cases of blockchain technology in the future, and I can see VeChain really becoming really being like one of the main players in that space. It's going to be good.
Yeah, it's a powerhouse. That's the word that I like. Yeah, that's how I would frame it. Love it. Let us know what is the one thing that stands out to you. Really interested, guys.
Right, let's jump on over and see what's going on here with the VET token and the VET price.
Let's do it.
Fantastic. So, right. So basically, we're going to be given a little bit of a VET price prediction, and see what's going on there. But basically, there's a key level that stands between, VET completing a 130% bull rally, and obviously setting some new all-time highs and all that kind of good stuff. So, we're going to try to break that down, see what's going on, and hopefully try to make this as easy to understand as possible as well. So. VeChain has been on a tear, right? It's been surging massively over the past 11 days or so, Chris, and the momentum is definitely there, and you can see just how much it has kind of rallied recently. A correction will come into the picture if the demand barrier at 6.1 is taken down, and we'll obviously just have to see what's going on there and when we get into the chart in a little bit more detail. But basically, as it stands at this point in time, or at least I feel that VeChain's price is poised to move slightly higher, and the VET price has been trending in an ascending parallel channel, which I kind of drew up here so you can see it on the chart. And I just drew that over the top of the Fibonacci so you can get an idea of what's going on here. But basically, there's this channel we've been bouncing between these levels, so there's a little bit more scope to go, and it actually coincides quite nicely with our first price target. So we're just going to be watching that and seeing how that plays out. And this patterns trend line have contained VET's upswings and downtrends from former highs and higher lows and all that kind of stuff. So after hitting a local bottom on February the 28th, the VET's price initiated a 130% bull run to 8.3, which I believe, guys, actually is literally coincides with our exact price target here. And you can kind of see exactly what we're aiming for on this chart. So things are, aligned to where we're trying to get to. And 130% rally to that 8.3 is still underway. It hasn't quite finished yet, even though we've seen a little bit of resistance at around, I think it's the 6.7 cent area. We still have a little bit more work to go. And ultimately, I think we are going to get there. And at the time of recording this video, it does need a little bit more of a push to get there, but we're going to try to break that down so that it makes sense, and hopefully we can see it come to fruition. And ultimately, yeah, let's get into what we can see, and hopefully, make ourselves really confident in finishing strongly with this particular rally to this upside before we potentially have that correction that's going to be needed. So as we were saying, this is the parallel channel. You can see it quite clearly here. It runs with prices rising and hitting that top end, coming down to the bottom and going further up. And our price target is firmly sat there at 8.3 cent. Now there is this resistance which I've marked out with the yellow line, and that is at 6.7 cents. And we can see the wicks are going in there, but we can't seem to get that close quite yet. And that close above that line is going to be crucial to pushing this up towards that 8.3 cent area and finishing this rally before that correction can come back in. Now, obviously, the big thing here is this parallel channel has a mid line running through it, and we are still trading above that point. That is crucial to continuing this rally to the upside, and we're going to have to make sure that we're bouncing from that midline. So far so good, and we'll see how this closes out. Now, the volumes are also nice and low at the moment, which is not too bad. We need them to be stable at this point. The RSI is quite high, just below 70, not overbought, but could do with being a little bit lower on this daily chart. But that being said, I don't think we're going to necessarily drop at this point. I think we're still going to have that run to get that all-time high and that 8.3 cent. At least let's dive into the next level down. So instead of going to the 4-hour, I'm going to go to the 12-hour first. This is where that channel really comes to life. And we can see where we are on this RSI, still below 70, currently here at 64. So that's a good level to be at. And the volumes are not impressive, which is also positive for keeping that price nice and stable. So let's go ahead and just throw that into the 4-hourly. And again, we can see where we are on that midway point. That's currently, we're just hitting it and bouncing from that midpoint. And really good job here at making sure that we stay north of that midpoint of that parallel channel, because in doing that, that allows us to continue this upward trend. Now that 6.7 cent barrier is still there, Chris, and we are in a pretty good spot on this RSI to take that out. The volumes are quite low, so that's a good sign, and the RSI is in a good point here. If the volumes decide to spike up at this point, we can potentially take out that 6.7 cent area of resistance and flip it into support, which would be absolutely key. So let's pull it into the 1-hour view. And from here, we can see that we are on top of not only the midway point of the channel, but also that 50 moving average, which you can't really see very clearly here, but it is a faint blue line, and we're bouncing right on this particular point here. And again, the volumes on this hourly chart are not that impressive, but we're also incredibly low, Chris, to the pivot point within our RSI. And what I mean by that is this blue line that I've drawn on here comes in at 37. And this is an area that we've been bouncing from a few times in the history of the VET price, okay? And it's an area that repeats itself constantly all the way through here. So it's good to see this thing kind of come down to that level, and bouncing up from here is going to be absolutely key. So right now, Chris, all that stops is stopping the VeChain and the VET token from actually proceeding to break up into that 8.3 cent area looks to be volume. At the moment, the RSI is in a really good spot. We're bouncing from that 50 moving average. It is literally resistance at 6.7 and volume. And I think the second that volume kicks in, once people start realizing what's going on here in terms of those traders really kicking in and finding a bit of a bottom, I think we're going to see some phenomenal price rally, and we're going to see that price target get hit. So let's go ahead and just roll that back up into that daily view. This will, of course, be music to Chris's ears because his biggest bag is VeChain, so he does love all this kind of stuff. Now, just to summarize what we're talking about here, we're talking about going after that price target of 8.3 cent. That is the next, or the very first price target, I should say, on our VeChain Fibonacci retracement extension level. And we have got a bit of a barrier at 6.7 cent to get there. With that being said though, Chris, the RSI is in a pretty good spot on the 4-hourly and the hourly charts, and the volumes are the only thing really breaking this down and preventing it from actually going ahead and breaking past that 6.7 cent area and proceeding to go ahead and complete its 130% rally to that 8.3 cent area. I think that's really something that's only going to be around the corner, and it won't be that long, and we're going to break past that 6.7 cent resistance and turn it into support, and in doing so we'll tick off 8.3 cent as an accomplished milestone for the VET token. With that being said though, Chris, the next one after 8.3 comes in at 11.9, and 11.9 is followed by 15.6, followed by 17.9. So there's still a lot of work for VET and Vechain and the VET token, but we are starting to see some massive discovery here on price, specifically when we start thinking about where we bought this thing, which was way down over here somewhere. So really good to see this thing really kind of come into life a little bit. So Chris, is there anything you'd like to add to the charting side of things?
I don't think there's anything that I'll add to the charting side of things. I think, you know, Vechain's my biggest bag, which we tell everybody, right, all the time. And I've been vocal even when it was down at less than 1 cent, right? And we've talked about Vechain from day one, a bit like Harmony One. You know, these are projects that we've been invested in for a long time, and you know, it's taken all this time for VET to really get any sort of traction. But people are now talking about it. When I say people are now talking about it, there's a lot more YouTubers talking about it now, lots of Twitter feeds and Facebook messages that you're seeing now, or posts, should I say on Facebook, you know, that are really sort of pushing people to educate themselves a little bit more on Vechain, and some misconceptions around, you know, being a China coin and all this sort of stuff. You know, people are starting to realize that just isn't the case, and they've got use case, you know, throughout the world, which is amazing.
Absolutely. I mean, there's not many blockchains that have such strong use cases and that are actually, you know, adopted at this kind of scale. So Vechain is definitely unique in many different ways, and it's fantastic to see such a brilliant project and a brilliant team doing some fantastic work in the real world, and finally the tokens kind of representing some of that as well, which is great. So hopefully guys, you found this video useful and informative. If you did, hit that like button, we both really do appreciate it. And of course, if you're new to the channel and you've not yet subscribed, do consider subscribing, because by subscribing you're going to be kept up to date with all of the videos and live streams that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. And yeah, it's free, so why not? You'll be kept well informed. And with all this said and done, we hope everyone has a fantastic day, and we'll catch you all in the next one.
Take care.